Is your wife's name, by any chance, Karen? You make the pancakes. No, you make the pancakes. No, you make the pancakes. Well, I don't make them as good. What? Wait, hold on. I'm confused. Why is this person labeled the a-hole here? Am I missing something? What I asked for regarding my boundaries, my personhood, my body, it doesn't matter because I came from your nutsack. Yeah, get into it. Yeah, I just gotta get into it. Yeah, and you're gonna get into it. Yeah, I'm gonna try get into it. Yeah. I love Doja. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my beautiful channel. I am Ty, in case you didn't know, and today we're gonna be getting into some Reddit things. Now, this is something that I've done on my channel before. I've only done it once, but I do kind of want to make it kind of a semi-regular thing. You know, change it up every once in a while. I want to do something other, something to rejuvenate my soul and fulfill my spirit. And today that's gonna be reading Am I the A-hole post on Reddit. You guys should know how this goes. I read the post and I decide if the person is an a-hole or not, and only my opinion matters. I'll read about 3 to 5 of these and just see what people in the world are going through and help them decide if they were the a-holes in these particular situations. So if you're ready to go along this ride with me, strap in, you know, get your snacks, get something to drink, kick back, relax, and just enjoy the show. Okay, let's start here. Am I the a-hole? On vacation less than an hour before my wife flips out. This cursor is just doing gymnastics. Today has been a day. Dropped our kids off with my parents earlier today and drove to our rental house a few hours away for a long weekend away without the kids. Drive goes well and arrive and unpack with my wife realizes she forgot her probiotics. She starts freaking out. I tell her I'm sure she'll be fine for 2 nights and she starts yelling at me because I just don't understand. I'm assuming you meant don't understand how important these probiotics are to her health. I suggest that I can run to the vitamin shop tomorrow morning and that's not acceptable because they won't have the right brand. She then states that she just wants to go home and vacation is ruined. Okay, so I'm assuming because he made an offer to go to some other shop in the morning that this is an over-the-counter thing, like you can just go in and buy it, and she's worried about a particular brand. Okay, this is one of those things where we need a little bit more information. We don't know what the wife is actually suffering with here. I don't know what the probiotic is for, and so I can't really gauge how serious the issue is or not. So if she's dealing with something that's actually relatively serious, then yeah, like maybe the brand does matter and maybe she does have a reason to think vacation is ruined, because honestly, when something's not right with your body, it can ruin an experience. She wants me to drive over an hour away each direction to get the probiotic she's missing. Our house is 1.5 hours away. I don't know why I said 1.5, 1.5 hours. I told her no and told her she would be fine for 48 hours. She called me an a-hole and is now not talking to me. So Reddit, am I an a-hole? Okay, so just based off the information given, I'm inclined to say not the a-hole, but I am really curious as to what she's dealing with that makes her react this way. On to read some comments. Why couldn't she drive home for the probiotics and let you relax? She forgot them, then yelled at you. Does she usually take out her frustrations on you? That is reasonable. Yeah, she could definitely drive herself. Not the a-hole, but it sounds like something else is going on. That's what I'm saying. Like, it definitely feels like we're missing a lot of information here. It does really feel like something else is going on here that we don't know about. So what are you hiding, OP? What health condition does she have that makes the probiotics so vital? What will happen if she doesn't take them for 48 hours? Absolutely nothing. She'll be fine. OP says that she'll be fine, but he also is coming from a biased standpoint. So maybe to her, she won't be fine. You're not in her body, but he knows the situation better than I do. So we're just gonna go with not the a-hole, and assuming that the wife would be fine, then yeah, she's out of line. Am I the a-hole for accessing my dad's phone and deleting a pic of me? My family and family friends were abroad at a hotel resort. I don't like shirtless pictures of me being taken. One night, halfway through the holiday, during dinner, I told them that I would come with them to the beach. I specifically said no photos at the beach. Okay, so you've set a boundary that obviously is not going to get respected in this post. They agreed to this. At this point also, it's been a fact for years that I don't like my photo being taken, so it's nothing new. I decide to put sunscreen on, and to do this, I take off my top. Then once done, I go for a swim in the sea. I didn't put my top back on to swim because I didn't want it to get wet. I'm swimming and my dad takes pictures pictures of me without my consent. I shake my head, put my arms up, and tell him to stop, but he continues and smiles while doing so. Your dad's being kind of a jerk. It feels like family always thinks they just have the right to do whatever the hell that they want to do with you or to you, and that's just not the case. Boundaries are to be respected by everybody, family included. I feel like a lot of the time, family has a hard time being able to process that because they're like, hey, we're family. And I just had this conversation with my father actually yesterday because there was a situation with a couple of family members and something was said, and one family member would have taken that as a, I'm just joking with you type thing, but another family member who the comment was made towards felt like it was rude. So it's very important to make sure you set boundaries with the people in your lives, and if those boundaries aren't being respected, then snip snip. Sometimes you just gotta cut people off, or make sure you at least have like a very candid discussion with those people. I then start to confront him, why did you do that? I specifically asked you not to. Then he goes on the defensive, you're my son, I could take pictures of you if I want. Oh, that's toxic. That's toxic. It's like you're an object at that point. It's like you're not your own person. So because I'm your son, what you're essentially telling me is I have no autonomy. What I asked for regarding my boundaries, my personhood, my body, it doesn't matter because I came from your nutsack. I later sneak onto his phone and delete the pictures myself, and he gets even more annoyed. Also, for anyone wondering, if he asked me if he could take a photo, I would have put my shirt back on and let him. But he'd done the one thing I asked him not to, and I know these photos go on Facebook, and that's my exact fear. This sounds like a person who may be dealing with anxiety, maybe some type of insecurities with their body, and stuff like that, which is common. Bottom line here is that should have been respected. There's really no excuse for violating somebody's boundaries to that degree, and the fact that common ground would have been found in that this person was willing to put on a shirt and still take a picture, it's just a violation, man. I'm gonna go with not the a-hole. Honestly, it sounds like something I would have did. Look, if I tell you I don't want my picture taken and then you just go ahead and do it, you best believe I'ma look over your shoulder and see if I can figure out what your passcode is so I can get into that phone later and delete those pictures. I'm not playing with y'all. Don't violate me. And you won't have to experience me violating you by going through your personal stuff. Period. Okay, so this next one I'm really interested in because the person was branded the a-hole, so I definitely want to know what the tea is. Am I the a-hole for prioritizing my daughter's school performance over her emotional well-being after her mother's death? Okay, this is already the title alone is sick. I feel like you didn't need to ask anybody if you were the a-hole with this. Without me even reading the story, I feel like I don't even need to read it. I'm gonna read it anyway, but you sound sus. I am feeling conflicted about a recent decision I made regarding my teenage daughter following the death of her mother. I can't help but wonder if I made a huge mistake, so I'm turning to you, Reddit, to pass judgment on whether or not I'm the asshole in this situation. You found the right person. Since my wife's passing, life has been tough for the both of us. My daughter has been extremely distraught, and I can see how much she's struggling emotionally. However, when she asked me for time off from school to process her grief, I ended up prioritizing her academic performance instead. Your daughter's well-being should always come first. I don't want to be quick to villainize you. I'm sure your heart was in the right place, but you say yourself that your daughter has been distraught, and you still take it upon yourself to tell her that she needs to put her academics first before the loss of her mother. Do you see how that sounds? I feel like this should be something that any normal reasonable person wouldn't mind. And there is a certain line to be drawn. You can't put a time limit on grief, but there is a certain time in which you have to learn how to cope and learn how to move forward. So I would give her a week, maybe 2, hell, maybe even 3 if you really want to stretch it, to process that type of thing. If it was the case that you had waited some time before asking her to go back to school, I could understand that, just because life does have to go on, and when it comes to grief, you can't get stuck there. But assuming that she hasn't really had an appropriate amount of time to grieve, then yeah, you wrong, buddy. I'll admit I've been a stickler for education, and my daughter is a bright student who excels in her studies. When she approached me, I couldn't help but think about how it would impact her grades and future prospects. I was concerned that missing school would lead to a drop in her academic performance and potentially hinder her chances of getting into a good college. You worried about the wrong things. Dude, come on. Instead of allowing her to take some time off, I suggested that she continue attending school and told her that I believe that maintaining a routine and focusing on her education would provide stability and keep her on track. Okay, you're off track. While you're worried about whether or not she's on track, you need to worry about getting yourself back on it, if you were ever on it in the first place. How about you get on track? Cause baby, you done lost the plot. Apparently my daughter was devastated by my decision. Naturally, she accused me of not caring about her feelings and prioritizing her school performance over her emotional well-being. She believes that I'm being callous and unfeeling, dismissing her need for time to heal. And he has time to heal in quotations. Bro, what kind of person are you? Much less a father. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for putting my daughter's school performance ahead of her emotional well-being? Why are you putting these things in quotation marks? You know, oftentimes it's hard to tell tone through text, but there are certain cues that we can put in written words to let us know the type of tone that we're using. And for you to be putting quotation marks with the phrases time to heal and emotional well-being with a situation like this, it really comes off as callous and dismissive and like you don't recognize your fault, which I guess you truly don't, because otherwise you wouldn't be on Reddit asking us if we think you're the a-hole, which you are. With the a-hole, she needed time to grieve. A couple weeks out of school won't ruin her academic results. I know this is hard and I'm sorry for your loss, but you need to stop being lazy. Get her teachers involved and make sure she can take the rest she deserves while staying on track with school. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah, it's like you're so worried about a drop in her academic performance, yet you're not really recognizing that a grieving child going to school isn't going to be focused on their academic performance regardless. So yes, let her take that couple weeks. Let her get that 2-3 weeks out of school so she can like cope with what's happened to her mother. You're the a-hole, massive a-hole move. You absolutely should have given your daughter time off from school to process her grief. I know your wife died, but your daughter is a child and her mother died. If she is a great student, all the more reason to know that a break won't ruin her future. Have a heart, man. Exactly, that's what it boils down to. I truly hope that this man is taking in what's being said to him and is gonna genuinely allow her the time she needs, because that's really just messed up, man. There's really no excuse. Am I the a-hole for not making pancakes? Why do I feel like this is just about to be goofy? Like, this feels like it's gonna be something so stupid and petty. So my wife consistently has to change something and I don't like it. Be the way I cook or the plans I make, for example. The past few years, I've had enough. And if she starts changing plans or meals, I shut down and walk away from her and let her finish cooking or doing whatever the task is she thinks she is better at, and then messing it up to let me fix it later. Okay, starting off on a great foot here. You guys seem like a really great couple. Well, that brings us to yesterday. I mentioned to my son the night before, it is pancake day. He is excited like he is every Friday night before bed, and we do our little song and dance and head to bed. When I went to get things ready, she asked what I was doing. Told her pancake day, she gets upset and says we have fruit. Just eat the fruit with the pancakes, I'm confused. I said to go with the pancakes? Cool, chop it up. She said no, we don't need pancakes, just eat fruit. It is going to go bad. Is your wife's name, by any chance, Karen? We finished off the strawberries and raspberries for breakfast with our oatmeal Friday. Only thing left is a mango and peach. She made you eat all the fruit for breakfast? You have fruit and oatmeal. Pancakes sounds a lot better, I ain't gonna lie. Even though I haven't had pancakes in a long time. Don't want pancakes. I want pancakes. But my diet, I'm trying to get my body right, y'all. It's a struggle. It really is. 30 minutes later, my son wakes up, flips out when it wasn't pancake day anymore. My wife said, you know what, cook it. I said, no, I don't feel like it. You make them. Okay. So this is where your a-holeness comes in, because regardless of what your wife was acting crazy about, you still have a responsibility to your son, and your responsibility that day was to make his day. And he was so excited for these pancakes, and he couldn't have pancakes because y'all wanted to be petty and let your pride and egos get in the way. There's no way you should look at that look on your son's face and still decide, no, I'm not gonna make the pancakes because my wife was being difficult this morning. Your priority should have been your son, man. She says she doesn't know how and she doesn't make it as good and gets upset because the toddler is flipping for pancake. I told her tired of her changing things only to change it back when it no longer benefits her and she can deal with him. She ended up toasting a bagel for him. Y'all are not setting a very great example for your kid here. Tired of her plans changing and affecting me and then making me look bad because she doesn't like it when I refuse to help her after her choices. Y'all are like children. Y'all are like children and you have a child. And that's the problem here. You're like, you make the pancakes. No, you make the pancakes. No, you make the pancakes. Well, I don't make them as good. These are grown adults. These are grown adults. This is ridiculous. You punished your son by withholding something you knew he was excited about and that he was expecting from you because you were annoyed at your wife? Thank you. Everyone sucks here. You and your wife need to pull it together and not let your disagreements spill onto your children. You each independently owe your child a serious apology. He probably won't get it because parents have like this weird aversion to apologizing to their children for whatever reason. I don't know, child. Moving right along. I want to read one more, but I want it to be one where the person is the a-hole. Okay, so I found one. Am I the a-hole for sending my sister's father-in-law a lewd message and interfering with her married life? Okay. I've got an embarrassing conflict that I'd rather not present to my friends, so I need the anonymous power of Reddit and all you judgment-giving strangers to help me out. Much obliged. I will happily pass judgment upon you. My sister got married in late April. I've been hanging out with her father-in-law. It's not like we're seeing each other on the daily, just every other weekend or so. We grab drinks or just hang out at his home, nothing nefarious. Still, I've never brought it up to my sister because it's never came up. So far, so good. I don't really see how it would be a problem either way. Last night, we were hanging out like we usually do. I'm typically in charge of playing music for us, and Cyber Sex by Doja Cat came on the playlist I had queued up. That's so ironic that I was literally singing Doja Cat before the start of this video. Gonna get into it. Thomas was amused by the lyrics and was asking me where I found the song. It was a funny moment. We moved on. I left after a while. This morning when I woke up, I sent him a text along with a link to the song as a joke. Turns out my sister and her husband were visiting at this point, and my brother-in-law was in the middle of looking at something on Thomas's phone when the message came through. Apparently it caused a huge stir and resulted in brother-in-law confronting his father about the whole thing. Okay. My sister called me later and asked why I was sending her father-in-law lewd messages or hanging out with him at all. I tried to explain the situation like I did here, that he and I grab drinks and catch up occasionally after finding things in common during the wedding weekend, but it hasn't gone well. Starting to feel guilty about the whole thing because she said I was interfering with her married life. I'm lost. What? What? Wait, hold on. I'm confused. Why is this person labeled the a-hole here? Am I missing something? He can't chill with the man? Okay, let me read some of these comments. Something's not adding up here. I don't buy the fact that you and your new BFF, who is 20 years older, are just hanging out, drinking beers, and listening to Doja Cat. Either you're leaving something out or father-in-law is up to no good. What world are we living in? Are people not allowed to hang out with relatives? What? OP has since added that he's buying, given the details of the text, and based on that, I am definitely going to... Wait, hold on. I'm confused. The weird part isn't the age gap, it's keeping it quiet because it never came up. I can agree to that part, but I don't understand why people are treating this like it's something nefarious. Like, I'm genuinely lost here. Like, I don't get it. It also depends on how close he and the sister are. Like, if they're not close at all, then why does it matter? Okay, maybe I'm just y'all explain to me in the comments. I'm really lost. Okay, the comments are saying OP mentioned that he would be down for stuff to happen. So that I didn't read that in the post, so, and I even went back to check, so I'm guessing that the OP must have deleted that part of it or something, because that wasn't in the original post. So if that is the case, yeah, dude, it is kind of weird for you to be trying to hook up with your sister's father-in-law. Yeah, that's just a very strange dynamic. The reaction that some of these people are having to the relationship in general, y'all are weird. I don't think it's weird to be cool with your sister's father-in-law. What's so scandalous about it? Like, what the hell? I don't know. That's a messy situation. Child, I don't have the time or the energy right now. That's about it for this video, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about these situations down in the comments below. It's crazy out here. People be going after their sister's father-in-laws, apparently. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. And remember, this has been said by Ty, and I said what I said. Bye.